Morning, Sitara. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
So let's start August's edition of CEO Speaks. So the topic is AWS Past and Present. So AWS began in 2002 and only offered SOAP and XML services. So no one could imagine that it would come this far, and now it has become almost its own operating system for the internet, and it's created a multi-billion-dollar cloud market that Amazon has led. So the question is, how far has AWS come as a platform and how does it stand out? So I will ask you my first question, which is, and that question is, why has AWS become the preferred cloud-based platform for businesses, and how did it become this pervasive in such a short time period?
I think really AWS. A couple of things went right. Right. Uh, Basically, compute as a utility. Right. We have basically compute. Everything needs compute. Right. When something everything is today is CPU driven smart devices. When something is smart, we need to have compute. So when we have everything compute in everything, then it becomes a utility, right? Um, and then there has to be a utility provider for that, right? It has to be a utility. So that was lacking, and because in 2000, right, we know from that time on, every single device is going to become compute, but there was no platform or nothing was put in to make a compute as a utility, right? Uh, so that is where AWS came as a cloud, where cloud is really nothing but compute as a utility. And they were the first one who were kind of right. They saw so many different businesses because of Amazon, and they were having like all these multiple businesses. Each is completely different unit, and they were having a common compute because it didn't make sense for them to have a IT compute for each and everything. And then they said, okay, hey, if we can do this for us, I think this itself is a business. This can be done for everybody else. And that's where they came. So they came from a business, right, direction, uh, and they scaled it, and the industry was just waiting for it, right? Like it's like that. They did not even. The funny thing is, AWS did not even promote it that well, right? They did not even market it, promote it hard, or anything like that. It was basically just it went viral. The adoption went viral. The cloud because the market was desperately waiting for it. And actually, if you think about it, the startup culture, the cost of startup, right, the technology, and even established business, kind of upgrading the technology, upgrading the platform, the cost of doing anything. Uh, was significantly easier and significantly less, right? So that is the reason why AWS they came purely from that angle, and nobody came from that angle really, right? Because the reason the advantage they had that angle is because right they were doing it for themselves and they saw, oh my god, this can be there for everyone. Whereas the AWS is a business, right? It's a retail consumer goods company. Amazon is a consumer goods company, and AWS came from consumer goods retail industry, not consumer goods, it's retail industry. It came from that. And most of the business is retail industry or retail service, consumer service anyway. So that is where I think they were kind of more, everything they built was more uh, aligned to business needs, and the businesses were able to easily adopt that. Whereas the other cloud, basically, if you see, they are a technology company, primarily a technology product company, right? Amazon is again a retail company, but it came used technology. But in essence, they are, the core of their business is retail, whereas the others did not come from that. So that is where is the advantage Amazon had, and they have so they see what is a business problem in their retail industry, and they go and develop something for that, and that's adopted by everybody because that's like very relevant for everyone. And their customer success and their customer obsession, right, which all the Amazon customers would have seen, and they brought the same customer obsession with the AWS, and that is something changed the landscape of the industry. The industry was not served that way, right? Like the technology industry had an attitude towards the customers. Oh, you, that's too sophisticated, that's too complicated, you won't understand, we know what's good for you, right? That was the attitude they had. And AWS came in and said, customer is the boss, customer is the master, and customer obsession. That was a game changer, because that is not the way the industry operated, and that is why all the existing leaders could not compete with them, because they didn't know how to play that game. They were not built for that. So that's another great advantage.
I see. So, in a layman's terms, one can say that Amazon knew how to pitch their cloud based platform to the common business person rather than gatekeep it to very tech savvy people. So, they made cloud computing accessible.
Exactly. That's exactly. They made cloud for everybody. They did not even sell it that hard. They just made it, and the people ran, all the businesses ran and grabbed it.
And one very interesting point you said was that they used the retail mentality of the customer in technology. In well, normally in tech industries, you said the attitude is the company is always right. But in retail, a common slogan we hear is the customer is always right. So they have adapted that approach to become successful in technology. So I think one lesson we can learn from AWS success is the importance of all-roundedness. Like we cannot be 100% a tech person or 100% a business person. We need both skills.
Yeah, no, very simple. Yeah, exactly, right? They are always AWS, Amazon's mantra and AWS's mantra that we have worked with, we have seen always is customer is the boss. Customer is always right. Be obsessed with customer. I think that attribute, I think that's amazing, and they have practiced it, and that is what has made them. And I think technology is there to serve the customer.
And that is the motto of Agilisium as well. Customer obsession is one of in our vision and mission statement. So I think that is also what we are trying to do, and we should also keep striving to do.
No, exactly. No, we 100% copy that customer value from Amazon. I am not shy about that. We are very open. So we are 100% we want to take AWS Amazon's value, which is the customer obsession value, and that is what is the value of Agilisium too. We want to be customer obsessed. Customer is always right, customer is number one. It's all about customers. So that is the value that we want to instill in all Agilesians, and we want to make sure all our customers are treated like that.
Absolutely, very well said. So the second question I have for you is, so AWS has become so pervasive, and every company has, most of the companies have begun adapting it. But one question is, like, there must have been challenges in adopting AWS as a platform. So could you elaborate a bit on what those challenges were?
It is not really a challenge with AWS per se. It's a challenge with change, right? Like for example, if somebody is used to like a certain kind of thing for a long time, right? Let's assume somebody was used to like one way of using one kind of technology to do stuff like then they are changing it. That change is always difficult, right? So it's really that it's nothing to do with the AWS. When you are everything on prem and when you are moving to cloud, right, the adoption, the change is after once the change is done, the value is there, but the process of change is not easy, right? Everybody understands that. So that is a challenge, and that is where companies like us work with the customers and help them, because there is it's not a easy thing. It's not a easy thing. It's a it you know, if you have all the right people in your team, if you have all that, yes, you can do it. But the thing is, again, that migration, moving from here to there, it is kind of a one time thing. It's going to happen, right? Or whatever you touch, you're going to do it only one time. So you don't want to go and build a team just for that one time, because then what happens after that, right? The general purpose stuff, yeah, maybe you can have. So it's always best to bring in people to handle that one time workload, migrate it, and then have your internal team trained so that they can keep it, maintain it, or enhance it. So that's the way to do it. And there is a lot of help. That's what we do.
So you're saying that AWS faced no different challenges from the other cloud platforms in adoption. It was just a matter of bypassing legacy systems and getting over the resistance to change.
Yep, that's yeah. No, it's yeah, getting over the challenges, not resistance. The companies, there is not much of a resistance. They all want to change, no question about it. They all see the value, but just getting over that, untying all the knots, all the challenges, for them to change. That's what it is.
Wouldn't ma- would the but cloud databases will still have to be maintained even after adapting the platform. So it is not like these people who have helped with the migration, they can just it will be a completely one-time job. Maintenance will be a continuous process. Is that correct?
Not really. The maintenance of the systems in the on-prem, in the data center is significantly higher. The maintenance of the systems, once they are in the cloud, is significantly lower because most of it is automated. Most of it is like there are a lot of tools and technologies, so there is very, very, very minimal maintenance overhead. So, like if they needed 10 people, if they had 10 people to maintain something in on-prem, probably they will need only 2 to 3 people at the max to manage it in the cloud.
I see. So again, that differentiates the cloud from standard database software. So that's why our old software models like waterfall and spiral are falling out of favor because maintenance has been cut significantly.
Yeah, maintenance is significantly cut. The cost, the labor cost, the software cost, everything is significantly lower with cloud.
And that has probably completely changed the software development model as well.
Yep. If we add the overall cost, right, business system, entire IT, on-prem to cloud, I think overall, I think uh, the labor overall cost, cost of ownership, uh, will be like I would say about anywhere between 40 to 50% at least lower.
So the benefits that organizations face after adopting AWS specifically is great reduction of, development cost and maintenance cost, as well as a way to continuously update your data without needing too much manpower to do it. Is that correct?
Yes, I would say the cost benefit is there, but even with the 50% benefit cost, I would say even that is secondary. The primary is the speed in which they can have new developments going on, because the business is changing, the business environment is constantly changing, and the customers market space is constantly changing. So business has to be rapidly adapting to new things, and in order to do that, really, basically, what they have to do is, the technology has to be there where it can move fast and help them adapt. So I think that speed that they get in cloud, I don't think they can get in elsewhere. So
So
that is number one benefit.
So you're saying AWS is highly adaptable and very quickly adaptable, whereas
Yep.
our conventional databases they are they were much more set in stone, which meant it was more difficult to maintain and make use of it, and required more people to do so. So that would, you would say, is the main benefit. That malleability is,
Yep.
which is not there in the conventional databases.
Yep. That and agility, the speed to move fast, right? You want a database and an infrastructure, you have a 10 terabyte, let's assume you want a 100 terabyte just for like 2 months. You can get that once you have the AWS account, you can get it in like today. You can get 100 terabyte. If you are in a traditional data center, that just getting that 100 terabyte itself is a 6 month process. That is the speed difference.
Of course, the difference between 6 months and a day or two is massive, and in that time you could do so much.
Yep, and then millions of dollars you have to spend. There is a lot of contract time to get that kind of storage and all that stuff. And then after you bought it, after 6 months, if you don't need it, what do you do with that? None of that problem is there. You get it today, do what you need to do, and get rid of it. Finished, and pay only for what you used. So you total cost would be significantly lower and with the higher speed. So it's a no-brainer. Cloud adoption, why companies do cloud adoption is a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And another question I have is, we spoke about how Amazon stands out in terms of its business principle compared to the other cloud companies. But from a technical perspective, how would you say AWS stands out as a cloud platform compared to the others?
Well, they have advantage of being the early to the market, right? So the platform, the marketplace, they have their own products, solutions, and their partner network solutions. It's robust, right? Nobody has that level of coverage. So definitely, like from a maturity perspective, from an options perspective, nobody is the others are playing a catch-up game. AWS is the leader clearly.
So technically speaking, all of the other cloud platforms are around the same level. It's just that Amazon had an early start. Amazon paved the way. That is
Exactly.
all.
They were the market leader, right? They invented the market, right? They created that market. So obviously they have the advantage. From a overall cloud platform point of view, from a SaaS point of view, like of course there are other leaders, right? If you are going to consider, so cloud platform, there is only really three players. Of the three, really the leader is Amazon, AWS, very clear. The others two are, later entrant. Microsoft has its legacy as enterprise software. So definitely they have another advantage. Google is a newcomer, right? They just entered, so they have some good stuff. But nevertheless, they are a newcomer, relatively speaking, to the market compared to AWS and you know, uh, even Azure is relatively, not been there too long around. So yeah, so definitely they have, but if you go to SaaS, right, Salesforce cloud, that is a different story. There is, definitely they are, say, Salesforce is a leader clearly, but they are a different kind of cloud, SaaS cloud.
So comparing Salesforce and AWS is more like comparing apples and oranges.
Yes,
You,
yes. So
even
yeah,
though they're both the same cloud,
yep.
they're
No,
using totally different means.
yeah. And the thing is, these days I've seen customers, right? They have it all. I've seen customers. We work with one of our largest customer. Uh, Actually, they have all the three clouds, right? AWS, Azure, and Google for different purposes. They have primary one, but they use others for specialty. AWS is their primary. We have another customer where AWS is the primary, and they use Salesforce significantly for all their sales and marketing cloud. So that is also we see, and I'm sure they also have some amount of Azure, right? So definitely those combinations are there.
So what you're saying is, it's become common business practice to use one cloud platform for pure cloud and another cloud platform for software as a service.
Absolutely, yes. That's yes, very true.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You don't want to keep all the eggs in one basket.
Yep.
So that is that make so like, and again, in case you can, in case your so in case some business is using Salesforce and AWS, if something happens to your Salesforce database, you will have a backup in AWS and can still work from there.
Right, right, right.
So the final question I have for you is, what would you say the future is going to look like in terms of AWS adoption? Do you believe it will still remain the number one cloud platform, or are the others catching up in the race?
I think as a cloud platform, definitely based on what I know today, AWS is going to be a leader. It is a leader. It is a leader. But they are doing everything from what I see in their ability to be the leader. Uh, but definitely the other players are going to also working on it, so they're going to do their best. But for some time, for what we can see, let's say a 3 year time frame to 5 year time frame, I don't see anybody can take AWS place. So they are going to be the leader. But there are other. The thing is, the growth is not going to be just the platform. The most of the growth is going to come from many SaaS, right, solutions and all that stuff. So there are many other things. Many companies are coming with their own, very vertical solutions. So so we have to see how the market plays, because the market is going to be not just the cloud platform. It's going to be mostly SaaS products going forward.
Ah, that's interesting. So, from a SaaS point of view, is where the real growth is, and in that point of view, Amazon is not number one, and anything can happen.
Yeah, yeah. I think Amazon also has its SaaS products, obviously, right? So all the platform players also have their SaaS, but there are the SaaS companies can go also can create their own, SaaS, and they actually develop it on Amazon, right? So it's a very interesting thing. So Amazon is a platform and it's also a SaaS player, and there are many other SaaS players. I think the cloud platform itself, these three players are dominant. I don't think anybody else is going to come and take the cloud platform because it's so barrier is so high. Nobody is going to come. But SaaS is so easy. I think many will come. That is to be expected.
So it looks like there's going to be only 3 or 4 cloud platforms maximum. But in
Yeah.
terms of
No,
software as a service, there are
yeah.
going to be a lot more players.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That's right.
So
I don't think
that
it's
means
going to be
Amazon would.
cloud platform. Yeah, I think you're right. Three big, and then there could be other smaller in the platform, one or two, but really these three. That's it. I don't see anybody else coming in at this point. I mean, Oracle is trying, IBM is dropped, so maybe Oracle will be a distant fourth. We will see how it comes.
So
Maybe
Amazon
Oracle,
would have to.
maybe Oracle and Google will fight for the third place. I don't know. We'll see.
Sorry about that, Raj. I was trying to say another point. So that means Amazon would have to focus more on developing its software as a service capabilities in order to get attain real growth.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think they have a very dominant place. I think they are in a very comfortable place. Uh, so they are number one. So I think the challenge with Amazon AWS is going to be keeping that number one place, because everybody wants to take that number one place. So, but they are number one at this point, and they are going to be number one for some time. And I see them not, they are doing everything to keep it so.
Definitely. So it's easy to attain the throne, but you have to maintain that throne. That is the question.
Yep, yep. They will do that. I think. I believe.
Yeah, of course. They've come this far, and unless something very catastrophic happens, I don't see Amazon losing its place.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. There is no reason. Yep.
So these were very good insights, Raj, and we can see why now everybody wants to get a piece of AWS nowadays, and
Yep.
why cloud is so important in your business. Why it can make and break you as a company.
Yep. No, I am very glad Agilisium we chose to partner with Amazon AWS. Stay focused with that partnership for a long time. I think that's been the best partnership. I think that's one of the best decisions as a company we did. I'm very glad we are with them. They help us a lot. They are amazing partner to be with. So I think, and they being a leader and a winner is huge for us. I think we are going to have a significant growth by being a partner with Amazon.
I would say thank it is they helped us to get the INC 5000 award that we just got recently.
Yes,
With
yes,
their help, we got
yes.
that far.
We have been only, this is the seventh year. We've been 5 year award winning, and AWS has been a significant part of it. Yes.
Well said, Raj. Thank you for all your insights. And next month, we will discuss the next topic.
All right. Thank you, Sitara.
Thank you. Have a good day, Raj.